Hey guys, Sensei Jeff here to show you how to properly use these microscopes. Okay? First showing you a little bit about how it works. Okay? So this little knob here, when you turn it, it changes which of the lenses you are looking through. Right now you are looking through the 40 magnification, which means it zooms in times 40, zooms in 100 times, and zooms in 400 times. So this is the most zoomed in you can get. And if you notice, that's a longer lens, which is important for safety. And if you don't want to end up buying us a new one of these, pay attention to this lens here. Okay? So the next thing is that we care about is this little cap. This keeps the lens up here safe, so keep this cap on it, put it on before you leave today. On the back, there are these little lights, okay? If you go up to the one here, it turns on a light here that shines down on the object. That is a more useful thing if you're looking at something that isn't see-through. For example, this fool's gold here isn't see-through. Okay, so when I set it on there, you'll want to use that backlight to have it light up underneath here, because if it's not lit up, you won't be able to see it very well through this eyepiece. Okay, if you look at something that is see-through, like one of these slides, which we'll get to, okay? One of these slides, when you put it on, you don't want to use that backlight that looks down on it. You want to use a light that comes up underneath. So on the back, instead I'll switch it to the 2. And now you can see how there's a light on right here that shines up from the bottom. That's what you want to use when you look through these little slides here. Notice how nice and neat these slides are. This is how they get put away too. You put each one back in their spot, put them in, and then slide them into the box and close the box. If you don't do this and these break, you may have to buy us a whole new set to get new slides. Okay? So make sure you are taking care of these slides. They are delicate and they can break. You have this object too. This is for you to put something in, like the fool's gold, so you don't end up smashing the lens on this and breaking the lens. So if instead I leave this on here like this and I lower this down and I end up crushing the lens here because I wasn't paying attention and the rock crushes this lens, you have to buy us a new microscope. So be very, very careful with how you use this. Okay? We're going to put on, well, let's do that first one as an example. We'll put the fool's gold back in there. So when I want to look at the fool's gold, I put it in here, put it here. I want to switch lights. I don't want the bottom light. I want the top light. So I use that one. I put it directly on that little middle part, okay? And if you look closely, I am using these, and when I turn them, this goes up and down. It's very important that I do not let this run into this. And so the navigator needs to keep their eyes so that when this happens, right now I'm about to touch it, it's touched. If I continue to crank on this, trying to make it work, I'm gonna break this tool. So do not, once this is touching, I need to stop touching it. I can do little tiny adjustments at this point, but I can't crank on it real hard because it'll either break this plastic thing or it'll break this. Okay? So one person can be adjusting this, and if I need to, I can do it without that, but I need to be very, very careful. I'm looking here, and my partner is going to look here and say, oh, stop, it looks like you're touching it. So I'm looking, oop, I can start to see it. Oop, I saw it just now. Okay, so notice how I was able to see it before I was touching it. Oop, there it is. Okay, so it's not touching, the lens is not touching the rock, and I need to make sure I do that. And I don't want to go fast with these knobs because that's how things break. Okay, my partner needs to help me with that. Okay. Now, let's say I wanted to look at these. Some of these are blank. These first few right here, these ones that don't have any color on them, that's blank, that's blank, that's blank, that's blank. That is for if you come up with something after this first day, if you're like, you know what, I want to look at something underneath the microscope. Maybe you want to look at some earwax. Pull some earwax out and look at earwax underneath there. Maybe you want to look at some skin cells. If you had some skin cells fall off and you want to look at those underneath the microscope. Or there's something you want to look at, you can talk to Miss Hilbert and she can help you make a slide like this that you can look at underneath here. Okay? But your first day, you're just going to be taking the slides that are already made for you. This one, first one is celery. So when you grab it, you're going to want to switch the light to be the see-through light from the bottom that comes up through. And then I put the slide gently on there, line it up with the middle. Oops, didn't mean to push that down. And now I can turn this. My partner is going to be watching to help me find it. And it's hard to find it if I'm 400 times zoomed in already. So I want to start looking for it on the 40 zoom. Oop. And I can see already I'm not right on the middle, so I won't be able to find it if I zoom in more. All right, now I got it right in the center. Okay, and I got it nice and focused. There we go. Now I can click zoom in and focus it a little bit. Nice. And then I zoom in more, and I can, yeah, there we go. Notice how I'm making very tiny adjustments. I'm not doing big motions. I'm doing little tiny motions so I don't accidentally squish the lens into this and crack that slide. If I crack the slide, I gotta buy a new one of these for the Smart Lab. All right. Once you're done looking at this one, you can bring it down, pull it off, zoom it back out. Okay. On your first day, you'll be allowed to look at all of these, and you'll be allowed to look at all of these. On your second day, look at any ones that you didn't get a chance to look at, and ask Miss Hilbert if there's anything you want to look at underneath these slides. Maybe a piece of the carpet or something that you wonder what it looks like zoomed in 400 times. Okay? Good luck using this. Make sure you treat it with care and kindness. All right, good luck.